As a mobile home investor, I sometimes will get a mobile home that has been sitting vacant for quite some time. And so there's some things that you will want to be aware of if you are getting a vacant mobile home, something that's been sitting there for, especially over the winter time. It's been sitting for a year, 2 years sometimes. Sometimes mobile homes in mobile home parks will be sitting there for a long time because somebody just vacated the home. Either they were evicted from the mobile home park, or possibly the person that lived in it passed away. They don't have any relatives that want to take this home on, or maybe the kids now inherited this home and they don't want to have to deal with it. And so they just give it away to the park, and it's just sitting there. It needs work. The park doesn't want to have anything to do with fixing it up and selling it on the market. That's a big pain in the butt. So there's a lot of reasons that mobile home parks will have these homes just sitting there vacant. And by the way, if you are running across mobile home parks that have these vacant homes sitting there, these are free to you. You will be negotiating, if you're a student of mine anyway, you will be negotiating a free mobile home out of that deal. So if it's been sitting for a year or 2 years, you will absolutely want to be taking this off of their hands and get it cash flowing for them and getting an approved buyer into that home. You will definitely not want to be paying any money for this home. So these are the things you're going to want to be aware of when you're getting a vacant home. By the way, if you're new to my channel, my name is Steph, and I fix and flip mobile homes in trailer parks. And it's what I've been doing since 2019. And I teach students all over the country how to get into this industry. It's very low budget, but high return. So make sure you subscribe to my channel because I put out videos like this one every single day for you. So, anyway, let's get into these vacant mobile homes. I am going to be linking down below for you also a video on deal breakers, that things that I would absolutely stay away from in terms of a mobile home. And this is not a definitive list by any stretch of the imagination. It's just from my experience, what I personally stay away from, and then what I advise my students to stay away from when they're just starting off as a brand new mobile home investor. So vacant homes. Okay. Let's get into vacant homes. Vacant homes you're going to find that there's parks that have sometimes multiple vacant homes when you start connecting with these parks. And the vacant homes that are there's problems. Okay. And this is, again, why you're going to be getting them for free, or you should be negotiating these for free. I would also say free lot rent too. Negotiate free lot rent with a mobile home park if you are taking over one of these vacant homes. So number one, make sure that the park has the title. Okay. If there is a lost or abandoned title, you're going to want to go through the process. They're going to want to go through the process of getting a title. I would never take over a home where I didn't have the actual physical title to the home. And remember also, these are DMV titles, like they have a VIN number. These mobile homes have a VIN number, okay, just like a car. So your title is going to be not through a title. There's no chain of title because there's no title insurance like typical real estate. So you're going to actually get a physical DMV title. So I would be getting that title. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, if that home has been sitting there through the winter months, and it has had no utilities turned on, presumably, if it's been sitting there vacant, most likely does not have utilities turned on. And you may be dealing with busted pipes. If it's been sitting there throughout the winter, it doesn't have any heat tape on the pipes. It has had no furnace running that would keep those pipes, somewhat heated up and from freezing. So this is probably going to be one of your biggest challenges if you are taking on a vacant home and you don't have any utilities turned on. Then that's going to be a reality once you do get those utilities turned on. So number one thing I would be looking for is the busted pipes. And just know that if you've got busted pipes, that's going to be an expense that you would want to consider and estimate before you take this on, and make sure that you are ready to take on a project like that. That's going to be, pretty big undertaking. So, and a pretty big expense. So just keep yourself aware of that. The other thing that could be an absolute problem is rodents and other critters that are making their nest slash home inside of the mobile home itself, either in the home or they could be in the ductwork of the home. So these mobile homes are sitting on blocks. Okay. There's no basement and they're not sitting on foundation. So the area around the bottom of the home that separates the ground from the bottom of the home, because it's sitting up on blocks, is called skirting, that goes around the outside of the home. And that protects from weather and critters from getting up underneath there. So many times too, there's skirting that has got holes in it, or there's a little space between the bottom of the skirting and the ground where somebody's made somebody like not a person but a critter has made their way underneath that home, and they have now made babies under that home. This is definitely something that can occur and does occur. Cats are another problem with these homes. So if you've got, and obviously mice can get into the tiniest of spots, but they can get up into the bottom of that home. There's typically a protectant layer of like a plastic layer that wraps the underside of that home, and then you have insulation, and then you've got all of your plumbing and all of that goes between the floor and that insulation. So they can find their way up in there pretty easily, and so you could be dealing with an infestation of rodents and or other critters. So that's another thing that you want to be aware of. Another potential problem if you've got a vacant home and there's no utilities turned on is you could have electrical issues that you're not able to verify. You're not able to actually check to see, does this home have electricity? Do we have issues with wiring? Do we have issues with, are there multiple outlets that are not working? Are there wires that are not even connected? I've bought homes before where half of the home, there's been a disconnection inside the home, and they're usually all connected, like all the wiring is connected. And so like the entire half of the home will not be working because somewhere in that point, there's been a disconnection. So obviously if utilities are turned on, electricity is turned on, you're going to be able to verify this. Without utilities turned on, you can't verify any of this. You can't verify plumbing and leaks and any of these things that are potential issues. You can't verify, does the furnace work? Does the air conditioning unit work? These are major systems of a home that make it livable, much less something that you would come in and maybe want to fix and flip and actually turn into a profit. So you need to kind of assess this. What I would recommend is getting utilities turned on even for a vacant free home, so that you can verify, you can come in and assess, what are we working with here? And I would do everything I could to get the water turned on, the power turned on, gas turned on if that's a heating source, and just figure out what you're dealing with before you take on this home. Because even a free home is you could potentially be in over your head when it comes to the rehab and really not make the profit that you want. So even a free home is not a good deal if it's got all of these issues that you're going to have to deal with. So anyway, hopefully this is helpful for you. You will run into these vacant homes. So I just recommend you going in with your eyes wide open and with a little bit of a strategy before you actually take this home on. So I will see you guys in the next video, and bye for now.